Good afternoon and welcome back to Child Psychology Online. I'm Patrick Smith and this is week 11. Welcome to week 11 as we are rolling forward into middle childhood and understanding more and more about all the aspects of middle childhood. Middle childhood really being another word for it being the school years, because here we are as kids, we are now in school. We're out of the house, we're into a larger world, we're interacting with other people other than just our siblings and our parents, the adults in our lives, our teachers and administrators, and other forces. We have children, other children are not just our siblings, but we have children who are our friends, our peers. So we're navigating this social world. What does that mean? And this environment, for the most part, because I know that some children unschool or homeschool, even if they do, they're still part of a larger world because everything we do in school is plugged into the world around us. We are becoming citizens of a larger community, a larger meaning larger than our homes. And so this then becomes really important, very important years that we learn how to act and we learn how to interact with other people and we learn how to learn. And so last week, I gave you one of my favorite discussion questions where you are presented with a rather controversial pair of videos as you are being exposed to one of my, well, someone I have great respect for. He's passed away now, but John Taylor Gatto was the National Teacher of the Year. He was an excellent elementary school teacher. Not, I don't know about worldwide, but certainly nationwide, known for his care for his students, his effectiveness in the classroom. And when he retired, he wrote some books on public education, calling into account the things that he saw were not working in public education. And so I expose you to those opinions. Now, I don't know, it didn't seem like any of you were really disagreeing from him. I have received some pretty vitriolic answers to my questions. One person even accusing me of trying to, um, you know, basically uh, change people's minds. What would be wrong with that? That's what teachers do, right? But I think this is the thing. Agree or disagree, that's fine. What we always have to learn is how to respect the other person. And I think of this as a point that we can certainly see in our exposure to what Dr. Gatto was saying about schooling. Not that the whole thing is horrible and we pitch it in the trash, but that there are opportunities to improve, and that being one of them being that central philosophy, or two central philosophies that you're pointed out, were being pointed out there. And one is this conformity, this idea of conformity, that we basically want to break down people's independence and make them a part of something larger, this community, American community, or whatever. An unfortunate side effect of that is that we cause young people to be unable then to think for themselves, to face their problems, to solve their problems. And so that's why they look back to that nanny state that has been developed through the school system. Now, I'm only trying to paraphrase what I'm watching. I'm not necessarily saying this is my idea. But as far as child psychology and the development of children, we do absolutely need to admit, what are our children really learning in schools? Okay, and so I'm saying, I'm seeing in Catherine, you mentioned really compliance, that we really force children to become compliant. There's only one right way to be, and the way we do that is we teach them to be manipulated by grades. Alyssa, you made a fantastic point about basically all we want to do is keep kids busy so when children have homework and worksheets and whatever, there's a less of a chance that they're going to actually get up and make noise and touch somebody else or whatever. Okay, Kevin, talking about grades, Kevin, you made a great point about being too focused on grades. And April, your comment on the work, and basically, if I can summarize what you're saying, I think that a lot of the work that you do in school, nobody's getting the idea exactly why you're doing it. What is the purpose? Really, just to keep you busy or whatever. They're still really connected with a goal. When I give assignments, like whether it's the discussions or a quiz or the literature reviews, there is absolutely a motivation there that it helps you to think about children and their psychological development. If you ever have a question like, why did you want me to do that? And ask, because I do have a good reason. And so there's that. So I want to just real quick give you a view of like when I walk into a classroom and sometimes I just have a classroom full of the everybody basically is the result of this kind of schooling that Dr. Gatto talks about. Um, and I said, well, what would you like to learn today? And like, I don't care, whatever you want to do, as long as I have a very clear path to an A. Okay, I'm flabbergasted. I don't just hand out grades. Grades don't mean it. In fact, if you want to know, you know, you graduate from high school, grades are over, man. We do give grades. I don't really know why, other than maybe to kind of keep people down, keep people fitting into the system. But what we like to see is somebody saying, well, I really would like to know about children. I really am hungry to learn more about children's development. Why? Because maybe one day I want to have children. Maybe I want to work with children. I want to know. I want to understand people because I want to be a nurse. Or I'm going to be an engineer, so I would need to understand how to interact with folks. So when I design a room, that I can design a room that people will live in. Okay, or a computer program. I want to program computers. Great. So why? Because people will use those computers. So I need to understand folks. Okay, you see, in all those cases, is hunger to learn. So this is where it starts. What Dr. Gatto's saying. This is where that hunger that we had when we were 3 or 4, 5 years old to run around and discover the world, and we want to learn it. And then we gradually kill that and kill that and kill that until nobody wants to learn anything. All they want to do is earn a grade. You know, it's tragic, and it's tragic because the real world out there, doesn't hand you grades. The real world out there needs you to understand how to live. Okay, so let me leave you there. That I don't want to lay a bunch of burden on you, but I wanted you to know and understand child psychology. This is a question of child psychology, and this is the one way that we kill it. Or kill development. Anyway, I hope you all have a great week and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you week 12.